I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, January the 7th, 2015. The Palestinians will join the International Criminal Court on April the 1st. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon announced the date for accession to the ICC today, which will enable the Palestinians to pursue war crimes charges against Israel. The U.S. has called the move by the PA damaging to peace prospects. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told Israel's Channel 2 yesterday that the unilateral move by the Palestinians had pushed the prospects for peace off the table and a two-state solution made impractical for now. Police in France are searching for the gunman who attacked the Paris headquarters of the Charlie Hebdo satirical magazine today, leaving 12 people dead. While the victims have not been officially identified, 81-year-old French-Jewish caricaturist Georges Wolinski is reported to be among the dead. Wolinski was born in Tunisia and moved to France at the age of 13. While it is not yet clear who is responsible for the attack, calls of Allah and Avenge the Prophet were reportedly heard during the shooting. Charlie Hebdo is known for its articles and caricatures critical of religion and has published several satirical cartoons of the Muslim prophet Muhammad. French President François Hollande said the country was in shock over the brutal attack, and world leaders and Muslim groups condemned it as well. Israel's Foreign Minister Avigdor Lieberman sent his condolences to Hollande and said Israel identifies with France's pain. Director of the American Jewish Committee's Paris office, rodan-benzaquen, said Islamic terrorism has struck once again in the heart of our beloved France, adding their target was both those who worked at the magazine and the laudable values of an open, democratic society they embodied. A lawsuit being brought by American victims of suicide bombings in Israel will be heard this coming Monday. The Associated Press reports that a federal appeals court will not block a trial set for January the 12th in New York after an interim appeal by the Palestinian Authority was rejected by the court yesterday. The lawsuit is being brought by U.S. terrorism victims against the PA and the Palestine Liberation Organization. The victims are of 7 shootings and bombings that took place near Jerusalem between January of 2001 and February of 2004, which killed 33 people and wounded hundreds. Jury selection for the trial began yesterday. It is the first ever terrorism-related trial against the Palestinian Authority in the United States. Stormy, wintry weather has caused road closures and power outages across Israel. Hail and snow were reported in the country's north and in Jerusalem. A control tower at Ben Gurion Airport was hit by lightning this afternoon, damaging some of the supervisory systems there. However, despite some delays, takeoffs and landings have continued. Bess Meyerson, the only Jewish Miss America, has died at the age of 90. Meyerson passed away at her home in Santa Monica, California on December the 14th, though her death was only reported this week. Meyerson was born in the Bronx to Russian Jewish immigrant parents and lived in the Shalom Aleichem cooperative with a few hundred other Jewish families. A talented pianist, she attended the High School of Music and Art and later played at Carnegie Hall. Meyerson was crowned Miss America in 1945 and went on to have a career in public affairs, which included leading 2 New York City departments, Consumer Affairs and Cultural Affairs. She later became a spokeswoman and National Commissioner for the Anti-Defamation League. ADL National Director Abe Foxman hailed Meyerson as a tireless fighter against the forces of anti-Semitism, prejudice, and bigotry. Foxman said she was fiercely and proudly Jewish and wore it on her sleeve unapologetically. Throughout her life, he said, Bess showed America that beauty is more than skin deep. The iconic Straits Matzah factory will be closing its doors this spring. The 90-year-old factory has stood at its Rivington Street address on New York City's Lower East Side since 1925, where 5 generations of the family and generations of workers have made their livings. Alan Adler, who runs the factory now, is the great-grandson of Aaron Straight, who immigrated from Austria in the late 1800s and opened the factory. Adler told the New York Daily News that the family held out as long as they could. The 4 buildings that make up the factory are being sold to a real estate developer. Reasons given for the closure included a more competitive marketplace for matzah and challenges in repairing the factory's old equipment with much larger and more modern equipment. The owners are reportedly looking into starting matzah production at a facility they own in New Jersey. The final matzahs from Rivington Street will be baked for this coming Passover. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Wednesday, January the 7th. At 8 o'clock, the 2014 Gala of the American-Israel Friendship League pays tribute to Israel's Iron Dome project. And then at 9 tonight, part 2 of the JBS Year in Review, a panel discussion of events and issues of 2014 that affect the American Jewish future, with a panel of American Jewish Committee Stephen Boehm, former president of the Union for Reform Judaism Eric Yaffe, the World Jewish Congress's Betty Ehrenberg, and columnist Micah Halpern. That's tonight on JBS and jbstv.org. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, January the 7th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.